Welcome to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast where we, and by we, I mean me, Apple, and my co-host / co-founder Vincent. We dive into Disney Plus streaming service and we tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. Now, Vincent, my microphone seems off right now. It seems very low.
I put up higher.
That's too much fiddling for me right now. You know, my fiddling skills aren't the best, all right? So, Vincent, we're here. We're here for the final episode of Loki, the televisual series. And are you excited?
I'm excited. I was excited when I was watching it. The whole time I was excited.
Just for this podcast or just like excited because it was the final episode?
Excited because it was the final episode.
Yeah.
I only watched it last night as well.
Oh, man.
So it's fresh in my mind.
So it's fresh.
It's fresh.
So, Vincent, I'm also excited just to tell you, but also the listeners and the viewers, thank you for downloading all these last couple episodes that we've been uploading here.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the listeners and the viewers. We've also hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is wild.
Dude, Yumbo 1K, 100 subscribers within a month. There's only up from here or down. 100 subscribers isn't very high. So, still a milestone, you know?
It's not a lot of people that can maybe overnight think, what am I doing here?
Yeah, dude.
What am I watching this for? What am I doing with my life? They'll have on their YouTube, their homepage, the recommended, it'll be one of our dumb videos, and then it'll be 7 tips to improve your life, or 7 mental habits for clarity or something.
And the thumbnail, the thumbnail will be us with a red circle and a slash going through it. That will be the thumbnail of that video. And it'll just be all 7 tips, just delete the back catalogue from your podcasting stations. Delete the back catalogue from YouTube. And it'll just be clips of us this is the reason why the back catalogue is bad for your soul.
Yeah.
There'll be slowed down clips of us laughing. We'll look menacing, We'll look menacing to the community.
It's a very likely occurrence, I think.
I hope that we had, at one stage, we have a big enough, base of supporters that they'd be let's just make that video. Let's make that video and then post it.
I remember from that Loki episode.
Does anyone remember Loki episode 6 in which Apo said, and I quote,
Is that peak just, I don't know, fame? It's when people are creating lore on your own life?
Nah. Peak fame is when you go on Twitter and you're trending, right? And then you click on that and it's a video of you going like this. Moving your hair, and people are wow, he's so dreamy,
You moving your hair?
Well, I'm saying you. I said you. I can't do it, but you can, maybe if I get enough money, I'll be able to do it.
Oh, Ashley and Martin?
Dude, if that Yumbo money comes through and you see some plugs coming in, but I'm not talking about plugs BetterHelp or plugs like that. I'm talking about plugs. You know what I mean? You see me, I'll be oh, Vincent, anyway, welcome to another episode.
You'd be like Loki doing these ones. Flicking your hair back 15 million times. So, all right, should we get into this episode?
Let's get into this episode. Now, this is because it is the last episode of the series. I'm going to give you the IMDb's. I'm going to give you the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, hit us with the budget.
I don't know about the budget. So
you failed already.
So it's got 8.7 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got 92% on the Rotten Tomatoes with an average audience score of 87%. So the audience have scored it lower. Now, let me hit you up with the synopsis real quick. But also, I saw something on IMDb, and it was telling me, this is what it was telling me. It was saying there's 7 episodes of the Loki TV series. Episode guide, 7 episodes. But there's not. This is the final episode, episode 6. Unless some secret episode's going to come out next Wednesday.
Right, some secret episode.
And it's going to be here's season 2. Imagine that. Right, season 2 just dropped.
Imagine that. Season 2.
That'd be wild. But I'm going to give you the synopsis. We'll get into this. All right, Vincent?
Yep.
The clock is ticking in the season finale, which finds Loki and Sylvie on a date with destiny. Is this a rom-com? Are we getting into rom-coms here?
Well, we might.
Oh, my goodness. So let's get into what I want to talk about and what you want to talk about, Vincent. So this one is called For All Time, Always. That's the episode. Now, I do want to talk about one thing that I really want to touch on, before we touch on anything else. The lack of Owen Wilson's in this series.
Yeah,
in this
I know.
Televisual series. When
he didn't even say wow.
Nah.
He said now.
He did, yeah.
And I was going, so close. So close.
He didn't say wow. He didn't like do the other things that Owen Wilson's done, like that he's famous for, like act in like a lot of scenes. You know, he's famous for that. He's famous for acting in a lot of scenes, and he didn't do that. But
yeah, he was very. I mean, there was a few episodes where he was pretty much not in it. I mean, this episode he was in it for maybe 4 minutes total.
Yeah, not even right. There was just a couple like reaction shots of him being like, "Oh my god," and they'd be like,
whatever. He was just doing this, and then there'll be a Twitter hashtag. Oh my goodness, Owen Wilson's so dreamy. In the 5 minutes and 80 seconds that he was in the six episodes of Loki.
But like Owen Wilson's is actually like a dreamy man. Like he's an actor. He's like a famous Hollywood actor. He's got that face.
You're telling me like that? I don't know. He's a famous Hollywood actor. Like he didn't star in such films like The Wedding Crashers and The Internship.
Oh, dude.
And other such films with Vince Vaughn.
And The Internship is like your sort of film.
That's my sort of film. That's hilarious.
We've talked about this on this show.
Yeah.
Google things.
Yeah. There's a few bits in there that I didn't like, but all the Google things I liked. I was going, bro, that's intent to computer science right there.
So, and like, good luck to him for the NBA Finals as well. We'll add that in there.
Yeah,
but,
bro, Game 7.
I mean, not yet. But like, we hope we'll get there, Give the people their money's worth, what
game
I mean?
is it up to?
I think it's up to Game 6 now.
Oh, okay. I was close, though.
You're close, but I might be wrong. So it might be Game 5. But anyway, let's not get into that because we don't know NBA things. We just know his name specifically. But I was also going to say the reason why I wanted to bring up he's a Hollywood actor is it's not because you have to be famous enough that even if you're ugly, you still be getting like clicks you still be getting, oh my God, he's so dreamy. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you're ugly. But I'm saying that us as a collective are not Hollywood level of like beauty. You know what I mean?
No, that's right. We ain't got those veneers,
Nah, and I need them because like my teeth, like they're good, but like they're healthy, but like they don't look good. Like my doctor said, man, your teeth look horrible. Like I can't believe how healthy they are, but
they're healthy and functional.
And I said, my doctor said that. My dentist didn't even say that because I haven't gone there for like 18 months.
You're worried he's going to go in there. What is this? Put the sunglasses on his teeth, not his eyes. They'll be on the chair. You have the sunglasses on.
So I want to talk about very quickly, like the theme being lit, because like we haven't talked about the theme of this episode of this show. And to be honest with you, I can't. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I've written it in my notes. But now that I'm saying it out loud, I can't actually remember what the theme sounds like. But it's real good, and it appears throughout in different sort of versions of it. I also want to talk about, the big bad. We knew we were going to get a big bad, but in what form did that come, and whether or not that was, as exciting as we were expecting it to be. And then I want to talk about, where to next, because we've got everything right up to this point. I'm standing by that.
And also, we've got a lot of time before our theories get debunked.
Yeah.
So we'll be feeling good for a while.
We'll be feeling good for a while. And also, we'll just, we'll give a review of this episode because that's what we do here. So let's get into straight into just Owen Wilson's. Should we just get straight into the Owen Wilson's thing?
Sure.
Or have we talked about that enough?
I don't know. What else do you want to talk about?
Like, Mans was not in this show enough. You put him on the front cover, right? He's not titular. It's not Owen Wilson's.
No,
Marvel's Owen Wilson's,
Marvel's Owen Wilson's.
But you put him on the front cover pretty much, like next to Loki and some of the marketing. Obviously, that's a draw. You go in, you see, look at Owen Wilson's with his like silver hair. Look at this silver fox, right? He's going to say, wow. He's going to be on his jet ski at some point.
Bro, he didn't even get a jet ski.
You're staying there for that, aren't you, Vincent?
Well, not really, but...
Well, I mean, part of you is like, that's what I'm excited for. The final episode of like Loki, as you said, they rock up to the beach in like Honolulu.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting there would be a jet ski.
And there's jet ski, and that's when the wow comes up. And even in our trailer breakdown, we said it's going to be Loki that says wow, and Owen Wilson will say like, that's exactly what I was thinking. And people will be like, that's a reference to Owen Wilson as an individual.
They didn't even do that. They could have used that.
I know, they hadn't filmed the series yet. They hadn't filmed it. But I think that's really all we need to talk about for Owen Wilson's, right?
Okay.
we probably touched on that too much. But I want, spoilers again for this whole entire series, but there will be a season 2. So I want Owen Wilson to be heavily involved in season 2. Even if it's the new Owen Wilson, which we'll talk about in a second. But Vincent, let's talk about, where this episode leads and the big bad. right? So
this episode was interesting because it was 90% them, Sylvie and Loki in the room with the man's there, who he's not named.
Who he's not named. Who we can assume from like rumors and whatnot. I don't know if it was actually named, but the actor that is that character, when he got announced, I think it was either rumored. I can't remember if it was rumored or if it was specifically stated that he would be Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, I saw a tweet before I watched the episode. I was going, bro, Kang the Conqueror? Bro, now I know this episode.
Yeah.
But I didn't because they didn't say his name.
No. There's a part in it where he's like, I ruled. I was Kang the Conqueror. Like, he specifically says that. No, he says, like, I conquered.
Yeah.
Like, he says,
He said, people have called me many things.
That's right.
But they've never called me late to dinner.
He manages time.
That's right. He's never going to be late to dinner.
He knows exactly when the dinner's going to happen, bro. But so, I mean, there's a hint that it could be him, and I'll probably as we've said before, we don't know the comics, so there could be comics where he's like, I'd just be doing like donut timelines. I do that on the daily. That's my Kang the Conqueror power, So it could be Kang the Conqueror.
I conquer the timeline.
But all I'm saying is that actor. I haven't seen the TV show. It's called Lovecraft Country or Lovecraft County. But apparently it's really good. Apparently he's really good in it.
Well, I thought he was a good actor in this.
That's what I'm saying. He was very good at his role. He was eating apples. Like, you see a man on screen eating apples. Shout out Cinema Sins.
And it was, I don't know. Yeah,
that's all right. They'll know the reference.
They'll know the reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad they'll know the reference. But he's eating apples, but he's also eating apples and talking while he's eating apples. Normally you just see there's a bite on the apple and that's it.
Yeah. Because in acting, they're like, you can't eat the apple because it's going to affect your ability to do dialogue, which is a part of acting.
He's doing dialogue. Tim Cook's in the back applauding.
That's for your computer science folks. I said the thing for the Cinema Sins folks, you said it for the computer science folks. But also, we look back in history of all the greatest actors that have eaten things on camera, and Brad Pitt's up there. But now this actor, which I apologize, I don't know his name. I gotta search that up. But
yeah, stay tuned for our video on top 10 actors eating things on screen.
Dude, Brad Pitt takes the cake though, and he eats it.
Which one?
On screen. What do you mean, which one?
What?
Bro, every single Brad Pitt movie, he's eating something. He'll eat a Twizzler. He'll do it. But he won't speak as much as what we saw this character do.
Would Robert Downey Jr. be in that when he's eating them crisps?
When's
Iron Man? I don't know. He's eating, I don't know, edamame beans or raspberries or something in Avengers. Original Avengers.
I can't remember that, but he's eating shawarma as well, but like he's not.
Yeah, but that was after.
So can I tell you a quick story about edamame beans before we get into like this?
Okay.
So I got some Asian takeaway, and I was by myself that night. I was home alone. I was without anyone that could have told me what edamame beans were. But I was like, hey, these look healthy, so I got some. Now I didn't know that like you like get the beans out from like within.
Do you?
You like suck them out. You don't eat.
You just got edamame beans. You didn't get.
No, I got food as well, but that's on like side. Like you get fries,
okay.
You get edamame beans instead, right? Healthy option, I assume. So you meant to like suck out like the actual inside of the bean.
I didn't know that. My edamame beans are pre-sucked.
Oh, they're pre-sucked.
Which the ones I get, yeah.
Oh, so they're just the bowls in there. You saying?
Yeah, the bowls.
Well,
they've been pre-sucked, so the balls are left. Bro, you can't be saying.
Yeah, but that's I'm trying to do a wholesome podcast here. You're bringing that on.
You're saying that.
To me. I didn't mean to, but what I'm trying to say is I was eating the edamame like bean as a whole. And it was so painful to eat it that I was like, bro, these people for this many years have been eating edamame beans like this. But I had no one to, talk about this with.
Your parents come back and you ask, Apo, what the hell are you doing?
I was like, bro, these takes too long to chew, This was the most fibrous meal I've ever had. Let me tell you, man, like, don't worry about Metamucil. Eat edamame beans whole. Don't get the pre-sucked ones. Eat the whole edamame beans.
Don't get the pre-sucked ones.
So that's just a fun little story for the for Cinema Sins and computer science folk out there. The reason I'm the reason that I'm like adding things in is because although this is a big episode and it does end with a lot. And, it says, this is what could potentially happen. There's some big things that could happen. There's not that much that happens in the episode.
No.
It's almost as if they could have led up to all this lead up, all this discussion could have been going on throughout the entire the series. Like, I know we were looking for that big bad. Like, that was the purpose of Sylvie trying to get through, trying to get through to the TVA. And I know that, obviously, no one knew what the answers were. Not even the people within the TVA knew what the answers were. But, like, some little hints along the way would have been nice. Or some little,
To the mans? Or what?
As in throughout the whole series. Or not necessarily
hints
towards
the man. What, though?
Hints towards, that it is a multi-dimensional thing, that there were multi-dimensional wars. Or did they say that initially?
They did say that. That's the whole reason the TVA was founded.
They did say that. Yeah, they did say that.
That's why they founded the bureaucracy.
They did say that. That's right.
I still love the whole corporation
the aesthetic
that they've got going,
Yeah. Well, my point was like, quickly beaten down to like a pulp.
Yeah.
To a single edamame bean.
Single edamame
Sucked
bean.
out, you know what I mean? But
ball only.
Like, is that the bean or is that other thing the bean? One of them's the bean, man. Like, we don't know edamame things.
We don't know a lot of things, and edamame things are not one of them.
Yeah, also, we haven't seen each other in a while, so like, I'm excited to be here.
That's right. Like, as am I.
As are you.
Anyway, should we talk about some of the bits in this episode? So I like the bit where Owen Wilson's got all the people in the TVA to go to that lady's crib.
Yeah.
When she was a principal.
Yeah. Principal Renslayer.
Principal Renslayer. But the best is C20 or B20 or that other lady brings everyone individually to them. So I imagine this like, bro, who are these people coming to my classroom? What's going on here?
Why do you specifically keep coming in and bringing new people with suits on, Also, she was pretty adamant in saying, like, get out of my classroom. If I saw some people in, like, what looked like SWAT uniform with sticks, I'm not yelling at them.
No, that's right. I'm like, what can I do for you? What can I do for you so those sticks don't start swinging?
Yeah, but she she's a principal. Principals don't mess around.
Yeah, I mean, what they should have done is they should have had them lined up on chairs outside her office. Next.
And she just has a talking to him.
Yeah.
And she's like,
detention.
It doesn't matter who you are. Even if you're an adult, if you go into a principal's office, you're on your toes.
Because everyone's, well, I don't say everyone. A lot of people have been in that situation.
Yeah. Bro, someone, there's some people out there who, they either got away with it or they were just nice people. They didn't need to go there, I definitely went there. That's because, my likeness was used in, a YouTube video, not the Back Catalogue podcast. We'll get into that in AD because that's a funny story.
But yeah, so that was funny.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that she had the pen in her. Did she know that she was a variant?
She must have, right?
I don't reckon she did.
But why would she have the pen saying like high school, Principal Renslayer's high school specifically, 2018 or whatever it was?
That's what it said specifically on the long pen. The pen's about half a meter.
It's one of those like ones you get from the Royal Adelaide show that's like, it's just too long. Like, those pencils that
you just can't use them.
And kids take them to school and they're like, ha ha ha. And they're like, actually, this is really difficult to write with.
Yeah, because you got to write right at the bottom. Center of gravity is not right.
No, it's up the top.
It's up the top.
Yeah. So maybe she did. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean anything now, but because she remains in the space, I'm assuming she'll come up in the second season as well.
It was interesting that I like the, Mobius is completely against it. We've got to tell people, we've got to do something about it. And she's still sticking to that, it can't be for nothing.
Yeah. And I understand her point.
Yeah, obviously.
I do understand her point. And the thing is that I think...
Which she is true. She is correct.
Yeah.
It isn't for nothing.
That's right. And I think that this episode is good in making you feel both ways.
Yeah.
Especially when the, whoever what was he called?
He Who Remains.
He Who Remains. Especially when He Who Remains was explaining everything. It's like you've been on Sylvie and Loki's side this whole series. And then when you hear the man saying like, yeah, I'm doing this, And, I'm taking these variants, that's not a very good thing to do, but it's a necessary evil because otherwise there's just going to be multi-dimensional wars going on.
That's right.
And more people are going to die than probably are getting, whatever it's called, pruned or taken away now. But at the same time, you're like, this is bureaucracy, this is corporation things. There's always something sketchy going on. I can't trust you completely.
It's also one man's who's doing it all,
Yeah. You can't, if you haven't got a team around you, keeping you in check, yeah, you could be doing things.
It was interesting because you really do see both sides.
Yeah.
And I was going, oh, man, dude, this guy brings up a lot of valid points, but he's also had a lot of time to think about things,
And they do a good job of finishing it off with Loki, essentially saying to Sylvie, like, hey, I think we need to believe this guy. Like, this is not me.
Well, he just says, bro, I just think we need to talk about this.
Yeah. And, Sylvie points out, because you want to be the ruler of the TVA. This was your goal from the start. You wanted to be in this position to figure out a way to take, because the guy says essentially he who remains, he who shall not be named, all those sorts of things, right? Like, could we get any more Voldemort?
Squish his nose in and call it a day.
So he states essentially, you can kill me, and the multidimensional war just kicks off again, or things kick off, or you can take over from my throne and I just chill out, bro. I need to relax. Bro, I need some time to relax. I've been doing this for all eternity.
That's what I was thinking. He's just a human man.
He's just a scientist, right? He was just a scientist.
So how is he, he said, I'm a lot older than I look. Bro, he found the fountain of youth? What's going on?
Well, he's obviously been able to manipulate time in some capacity.
That's what I mean, but he must be able to manipulate time within himself.
Like youth.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming so. And that's an important question for me and you, but it's also one that, he's dead now. But that's also one that doesn't necessarily need to be explained.
No, that's right. That's not true. He's dead now. Right, he's gone. But also maybe not.
The old me's dead and gone. Shout out T.I., right?
Shout out T.I. Bro, he had 2 slappers back in the day.
Dude, he had a couple of slappers, and I don't know what else he's done, but
he's done some slapping, and that's what we'll say.
He's done some slapping.
Yeah, no, he's done not good things.
Not on good things. Okay, so we're not on good terms with Tip.
No. Not on good terms with Tip.
Dude, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the excitement. I've been waiting because I watched this on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was actually at a friend of the show, Jaden's house, in The Man Who Sleeps, while listening to this podcast.
Jaden?
He's probably not listening at this point. He's probably sleeping.
But
we watched it there, and I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this episode, but I'm glad I've given myself time to think about it. I think if I watched it last night, my ability to process and describe it would have been very different to what it is right now.
Yeah, see, my processing speed is just unreal,
I know. You got the amount of RAM you got, bro.
Bro, I'm surprised that you know that, because that's computer science humor.
But it took me a while to think about, what it could be.
Far out. Yeah. That 3 days.
I was like, if Vincent says this, I have to bring in the RAM joke. I have to bring the RAM joke. I wrote it down in my notes. But so what we figure out, which is I think is the big takeaway from this episode, and what leads into what we all assumed. Everyone that's probably watched this show assumed that in some way, at some point assume that, will this lead to the multiverse of madness? Will this lead to the rumors that have been sprayed around the Spider-Man movies? How it's going to be an Into the Spider-Verse movie.
It's going to be all the Spider-Man.
It's going to be all the Spider-Man. Like from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, when it's Spider-Man on stage, called All the Spider-Man, and they're just breaking their necks and whatnot.
Yeah, that's for you cinema sins, because I ain't seen that.
So you've seen all the rumors of, Tobey Maguire's and Andrew Garfield's coming back.
I've heard, some of that stuff.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily going to be true because they're all denying it. It's going to be one of those things that people have made it up, and if they're like, no, of course it's not going to happen, and then it happens, it's just going to be like, why would you lie to us? Why would you lie to us? We trusted you.
We trusted you.
But also, what's the one thing we won't get into this too much, but that's one thing that's bad about too much speculation. You hype yourself up for nothing sometimes.
That's right.
But this could lead to,
Well, I think this is definitely going to lead directly into the multiverse of madness. It's called multiverse of madness. Bro, we've seen the multiverse now.
That's right.
We've seen the branches.
Yeah.
Did look pretty cool.
It did look very cool. It was cool to see that, or it was cool to get a description of what, because something that we were talking about. You know, is it timelines? Is it multiverses? But it's essentially both. And they're layered on top of each other like a pancake stack. But, you know, due to science, this man was able to separate them and keep his universe separate from all the others.
Yeah, so basically just destroyed all the other ones.
But the thing is, did he destroy them? Or were they like in a space of limbo?
I don't know. It sounded like he destroyed them.
And this is what...
And so only his universe remained.
Yeah.
That's why he's the conqueror. He conquered all the dimensions.
And that's how, because he found whatever that dragon lion monster was.
Yeah, Eliath.
Eliath, that's it. So that's what friend of the show, Jaden, was saying. He was saying, you know, did he just, you know, this is the challenge when we start
Wake up, Jaden.
We're talking about you specifically. This is the challenge when we start to get into like time-related things and multiverse-related things is there's room for error in explaining it for everyone who's involved. But also the final scene of Loki, you know, being in the TVA and then seeing that it's a different TVA and there's the statue of, you know, he who remains, our man's.
See, I thought when that was happening, I thought it'd be Sylvie.
Oh.
I thought that was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And Sylvie would have gone, okay, yeah, I'll take over. Or then we'll see in season 2 that Sylvie's, you know, there and she's gone, bro, what the hell? And there's just all these things happening. I've got to do something. And then she starts enchanting the timeline or something. I don't know.
Right.
But also, he was just going to do that with no explanation.
Who was?
He who remains. Yeah, just take over, bro.
Yeah, not like giving them, you know, this is what, like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there would have been handover documents.
I'm sure they would have.
Yeah.
He can't just, you know, terminate straight away. He's got to give his 6 weeks of leave.
Yeah.
Of notice,
and
where he's got to, you know, do the handover to the next employee.
And like Mans has definitely built up, you know, at least a bit of long service leave.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if he'd be taking breaks.
Well, I mean, he's just in that spooky castle.
He's just in that spooky castle. You'd think if you were in a place for all time, always, you'd
deck it out.
You'd deck it out. You get the PlayStation 12 in there, bro.
Bro, you've got it. Like, you could go to that space.
Yeah.
Because time is and has already happened. Everything up until that point has already happened for this man, at least.
It was interesting that, you know, you go, oh, that's the threshold.
He doesn't know what.
And doesn't know. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But also, can't he just go back to a time
before the threshold?
But
I think he's separate from the...
Yeah, but if he's separate from the timeline, then he can just go back and he doesn't exist in that timeline. Or that...
Well, that's what I'm sure he would have done once he was relieved of his duties, you know? He would have been like, you know what, now I'm going to go back, you know, I might go to... I have no idea where he's interested. I might go to an apple farm. Man's like an apple. That's the only interest I could get from him, you know?
Go to the orchards.
I'm just going to go to orchards.
He likes capes. He looks like he likes capes, you know?
He does look like he likes capes. He's like finely dressed, like for a man that wouldn't have many visitors. You know, all he has is...
But he's got all the time in the world to get ready.
Right, we're doing quantum physics jokes now.
No, but the thing that I got... Okay, so you have time...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, time is a very unknown kind of just thing. It's very unknown.
Yeah, we can speculate.
We can speculate. That's right. Which is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say he only exists. Yeah, bro, I can't do this. Time stuff is. I was going to say if you take every moment in time as its own kind of frame in the grand scheme of things, is he in all of them?
Is he in all of the
frames, or is he just in one? Because you think, okay, so we've been on this earth for roughly about 25 years.
Yeah, that's us.
And you say for those 25 years, every moment is a different frame. We are in all of them because, you know, we continue along this path we call life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is he, for his life, is he in all the frames, or is he in just one because he exists separate to time?
Now, you are asking me this question to see if I have the answer for you.
No, I'm opening up the floor to questions.
Open up the floor.
Questions, queries.
Hey, anyone else on the floor? Like, I got answers for him because I don't. Like, what do you want me to say? Yes. Like, yes, yes, I agree. Yes.
No, I'm not saying you need to say. You don't need to give me the answer.
Well, I can't do anything for you then. I can just sit here and look at you while you like explain what else you're going to explain.
Okay, well, that's the two ways that I'm thinking about it. Is he exists everywhere, always. So he's in every moment that ever existed up to this threshold. Right. Or he's just in one and he just exists then. Because then if he's in that threshold, if he passes the threshold, he's done that before.
Right.
Or maybe he hasn't seen past that previously. Yes.
And again, yes.
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 Yeah.
I know. I sort of get what you're saying, and I get what you're getting at, but I can't help you there.
That's the thing. Time is too messed up, bro.
And I'm not smart enough to do anything. Like, period. You know. So if we're talking time things, that's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
So, but it does raise some cool questions. The question that it raises for me is, I don't think, even though, Eliath, he harnessed the powers of Eliath and was able to, he showed us on that like cool little, 3D graphics.
The putty.
But if Eliath is able to do all that, kill all those universes, then what happens at the end? When Loki finds himself in another universe, is it just a branch of that one timeline? And there's just significant branches? Or have they broken the threshold so now all the universes are back? That was my question and my thought.
Oh, all the universes are back.
Yes.
As in they're kind of running in parallel.
Yeah. But
And
now
then
because
now
of the,
they're just all
yeah.
they're back. You didn't think they'd be back, but they're back.
And now they're actually able to interact, which allows for the multiverse war to occur.
Well, that's an interesting one. And to that I respond with yes.
Because the other question is, if the TVA exists, because he said, I created the TVA in this timeline to stop this from happening. Could it be possible that, because he doesn't have connections with the other timeline, could the TVA also be formed in those spaces? Because there is a TVA that he goes to, right? And I know you're going to answer with yes, because there's no real answer to it.
Yeah, that's interesting because, Loki comes back and he's going, Mobius, bro, you seen this? And he's going, who the hell are you?
Like, you are an analyst. Like, you analyst things.
You're an analyst, yeah. Look at those suspenders. You're an analyst.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that theory that you just said, that they were running in parallel, they weren't interacting, that makes more sense when you think of Mobius and Loki not have met. Because now it seems like he's in another one.
Yeah.
Because if it was just the one timeline and now it's branching, so for example, every decision you make, every possible decision you can make in a moment creates a branch. Because that's, infinite dimensions or whatever. Because, you could step left or you could step right. Then that's a branch.
That's right, yeah.
So then in every other branch of that, Loki and Mobius would have met. Correct? Because the time before that was already there. And you respond with?
Yes, but you lost me at that point.
No, okay.
I got lost. I got lost in the branches.
Okay.
Are you saying right foot left, left foot right,
No, okay. So you think of this. You think of two...
I was doing the hokey pokey, bro.
Right. You turned around too many times, bro. You're dizzy now.
I'm dizzy.
So you've got, let's say, two lines. And this is one timeline, this is another timeline.
I like that you're doing the hands.
Doing the hands, that's right. So they're going forward, time, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, he who remains is in this timeline.
Right.
And he goes, bro, I'm dead now. Threshold. Threshold hit, I'm dead.
Yeah.
This will now branch.
Yeah.
And this will branch.
Yeah.
We'll say. Mm-hmm. But if Loki had met Mobius, they would have known for all the branches up here, right? Because they will have already have met.
Okay, now.
But in this branch,
visuals
possibly not visuals.
Yeah.
See?
So that's why you're saying that.
So if you're listening to that, just watch the YouTube. You got to
watch the YouTube and like and subscribe.
Yeah.
He would have had to have jumped into another one for Mobius not to know him, because up until that point, even if there was millions of branches, in all of those branches, a version of Loki would have known.
That's right, unless
Mobius,
it was,
and vice versa.
Yeah, I guess it could have been before he met Loki, but then I feel like that's a bit shakier because
and they also
the TVA is different.
Yeah,
you got different statues.
They also trick you by having Mobius and C15 or C20 chatting to each other at that very moment, because
that was a good misdirect.
Yeah.
Because also, were they in the same scenarios. Oh, there's all these branches. This lady is dipped in that timeline. Which timeline did she dip in, you know? Renella or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Renkeller.
Renslayer.
Renslayer.
Now, that's interesting. And the good thing is that they do say at the end that we're going to get a season 2. So I wonder, where this is going to fit in. Whether that's going to be after they've done a whole bunch of movies, they've done their Spider-Man, they've done their Multiverse of Madness.
I was hoping that there would be a bit more of a after credit scene. And I was hoping it would be Doctor Strange and he'd get up, he's got his morning coffee, he puts his cape on, and he logs into his emails and he goes, it's just like he clicks on an email and then it shows the timelines and he goes, bro, what the hell? And that's it.
Yeah, because for you computer science folks, that would have been like, oh man, this is comedy as well. Because he's not even using an updated server of Google Mail, of Gmail.
Of Google Mail.
So, I mean, that would have been cool. Was that the after credit scene?
The after credit scene was just the Loki file, and it was Loki
return. Yeah,
bro, that's breaking the fourth wall.
Now, could we quickly, before we finish this off, could we talk about where this could go with other? Because I really want to speculate mainly on the Spider-Man.
Should we just talk about how they kissed each other in this one?
Yeah, it was disgusting, bro. Was that not just wild for you that they put that in?
Yeah, that was kind of wild, but it was expected.
But why?
I don't know. I wonder if that's causing a stir on Twitter.
That's the same biology. No, because Twitter, they like weird stuff like that, man.
Yeah, see, I don't do trending on Twitter much. Surely people would be...
Also, can I just really quickly say while you're searching that up, there's a bit in which Loki and Sylvie are trying to stop each other from doing their thing. So Loki's trying to stop Sylvie from killing the he who shall not be named or whatever his name is, the last one left, Last of Us, and vice versa. The other man's doing the other thing, right?
Yeah.
The fight scenes in this were
the fight scenes weren't good.
And I understand, this is a TV show. You have limited time. You have limited resources when compared to big, and I mean, obviously it is a Marvel TV show, so they probably do have a big budget associated with it. But you don't need to put that in there. Why can't they just talk it out? I know that it's an episode in which there is a lot of talking, so they're we have to throw something in for those people who just come to these movies for fight scenes. But also, that doesn't need to be the show. We talked about this several times, not only in this, in this series of Loki things, but also
Black Widow.
In the Black Widow,
watch that if you haven't, because that was actually a good episode, I thought.
Yeah, that was a good episode. You were just mad. And I was
laughing. Yeah. I listened to that back and I was going, bro, I was so mad. It was because I spent $34.99.
That's right, yeah.
For Premier Access.
And I didn't split it with you, bro.
You didn't split it.
I said before, if this is good, I'll split it with you. But if not, that you're on your own.
That's right. And I'm still livid, bro.
But you don't need to meet all the classic Marvel things. If you got a Chris Evans in there, sure, have him punch on people. If you got a Bucky Barnes in there, sure, have him uppercut some dudes with his metal arm. But when you've just got a Loki and a Sylvie in there, you don't need to.
Nah, they don't need to do the.
These are the smartest. Loki is the cleverest character in all of the MCU. Let him use his wit. Let him use his words to try to get himself out of this situation.
Yeah, the fight scenes have been pretty subpar.
Doing the force pull and whatnot. I just keep that in Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but Disney, we know you've got all the properties now. You can just, mix and match, but just keep them separate.
Although, one day when it happens to be they hit some time portal in Star Wars and they're like, oh my God, it's Iron Man from the Marvel Cinematic Universe Iron Man movie 1, 2, and 3 specifically. That's going to happen at some point, and that will be the day that I'm done with everything. That'll be the day that I'm like, yeah, you know what, Kevin, give me your hats, bro. You've lost the right to all your hats. I can't believe this. Look how many hats you've got. You don't need the Star Wars hat as well. He's got the Black Widow hat now. He's got
too many hats.
He's got too many hats. He's going to have the Thor: Love and Thunder hat.
Bro, that's way too many hats.
And I'm wondering, how this ending will affect movies like Thor: Love and Thunder. Will it affect it in the way that we assumed, in which
it's now a new thing where Thor's different because.
Or is Thor, or is there that crossover and Natalie Portman's character, what's her name? Jane Foster, is the new Thor in another world and they have to fight it out, but they fall in love and there's thunder. And what comes after thunder?
Lightning.
Or it comes before, right?
Ka-chow.
usually.
Yeah, lightning comes.
sound
before
barriers
thunder.
and whatnot.
Yeah, thunder comes after lightning.
That's right. Yeah.
So it goes love, ka-chow, thunder.
Yeah. So maybe Owen Wilson's back in Thor: Love and Thunder because he's the lightning that comes between the love and the thunder.
Right, you're gonna have Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth kissing at the end of Thor, and then you're just gonna hear Owen Wilson in the background. Wow, and then there'll be thunder.
Ciao. We've done it.
Ciao.
So, Vincent, let's break this down as a whole. This entire series. I think we've gotten to the point where we can give our review on the entire series.
Thumbs up from me.
I think that it was a pretty good series.
I enjoyed it. There were some low points.
Yeah.
Mainly the combat, the one on Lamentus. That was a bit of a subpar episode.
To be honest with you, I would say that the only real good thing about this episode is the ability for me and you to talk about it.
It was. Look, I really enjoyed it because I like learning about the worlds and the multiverses. And this man's, he was a scientist, and he was like, "Bro, look, we're all scientists. Bro, look at your hair, bro. That's fantastic. How do you get your hair to sit like that?"
Yeah,
because they're all the same person,
That's true.
But then one of them was like, "Nah, bro, all these worlds, they're going to die," or something.
Also, I also liked in this episode the fact that Miss Minutes is doing. She's saying like a whole lot of what's the word when like someone's doing something and they're saying something and it sounds like it's nice, but really it's like there's
passive
cruel
aggressive.
intentions. There's cruel intentions. No, she's just saying like some cruel things, like some underlying. It's either you do this or you die, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also she's like a animated thing that has like a southern drawl.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been of all the things that would have made me nervous if I was within this TV show. That would have been the least of my worries. A computer-looking thing, like a picture of a clock, telling me like, "Hey, if you don't do this way, you're gonna end up dying."
Bro, out of here.
This lady sounds like she's gonna be, she's one of those very lovely ladies that make the apple pies in those southern movies. You know what I mean? She has like a lovely voice. That's not
on the
intimidating. Oh, dude, and you smell it and you float.
That's right, like Tom and Jerry.
Some Tom and Jerry action.
Some Looney Tunes business.
Yeah, But again, I guess that's part of the fun.
That's
part
part
of this episode.
That's right. Well, I really enjoyed He Who Should Not Be Named. I really like him as a character. He's definitely going to be back. He Who Remains.
He Who Remains.
That's right. I really liked him as a character, and he's definitely going to be back. They made statues of him.
Well, he's a good actor, and I do remember from the rumors, at least I believe, and I could be mixing things up, that he'll be in Ant-Man and the Wasp in some capacity.
There will be. I reckon it's 100%. The timelines were separate because he said, "Bro, you're gonna have to wait because there's going to be more of me coming."
Yeah, infinite amounts of me.
Infinite amounts, and if that had, yeah.
Do you reckon?
I thought I solved it, but I didn't.
Do you reckon then this leads into What If?
Probably.
Because the What If trailer came out, but also What If could just be like those heads with the big heads making stories. So like, hey, what if Iron Man did this instead of doing that?
What if Iron Man went out to go fight people, but he forgot his suit?
He just died.
He just died.
He just got shot in the head, and he's like, "Oh my god, my suit's not on." That's his last words.
As he's died, "Oh my god, my suit's not on."
That's on his gravestone.
Thought his suit was on, but oh my god, his suit wasn't on. Tony Stark dead.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I thought I'd solved it, but it's difficult because. What is time, bro? Tell me what is time. I was watching about time. Is time even real?
Yeah, dude, you told me about that.
Nah, bro, it's too
much. You were
much.
about to say it to me, and I was like, yes.
Yes. No, because is that going to be Kang the Conqueror's or whatever his name is? Maybe not Kang the Conqueror. Maybe his name's like Daniel. He looked like a Daniel to me.
He did look like a Daniel.
He did look like a Daniel, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a nice name as well. I like the name Daniel.
It's a nice name. Yeah. But yeah, because things branch before that as well, because they prune branches as the timeline's going.
Yeah. And that's gardening reference as well. So pruning, should we get into the branches part where we tell them, because we could keep going. We could keep going and saying, what is time? And I'll just sit here while you say, bro, I watched this YouTube video about, like, is time even real? Like, are we in a simulation?
Yeah.
Are we in a simulation? Like, we could talk about that. We could get Elon Musk on the show.
That's a reference to Elon Musk.
Yeah, we could get Elon Musk on the show and he'll say some stuff and I'll be like, bro, Like I know, like I don't necessarily like you as a person, but do you have any of that money for me? Because I need it.
Or just like a Tesla?
Do you have like a 1 Bitcoin for me? Is Bitcoin good still? I don't know.
No, that's good.
Bro, if someone gave me a Bitcoin, I'd be like, we're set. I'm set for life. I just keep this in my back pocket. You know? You wouldn't want to lose it though. You don't want to wash that in your jeans. You know what I mean?
Bro, you did
anyway,
not watch.
bro, we've told them what we thought. We gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah, this is worth signing up to Disney Plus for.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable series. I really liked it. If I was going to rank the 3 televisual series that came out,
Yeah, rank them.
WandaVision would be 3, this would be 2, and Falcon and Winter Soldier would be 1.
See, I'd be ranking them differently.
Yes.
Falcon Winter Soldier number 1. WandaVision number 2. Loki number 3.
Is that right?
Yeah.
See, I like Loki because there were more episodes that I thought, man, this is insane.
Yeah.
And I was more excited about the possibilities. WandaVision was wild.
Because if we listen back to our AD, when we did on the Patreon of us reacting live
there was
to...
wild things,
it was
wasn't
just,
there?
whoa! But that was the episodes of us reacting live to WandaVision. And sign up to the Patreon. But Vincent, tell them where they can find us.
Yeah,
you know?
so like Apo just mentioned, we have a Patreon. It's all family-friendly content. Actually, no, it's not.
Not all of it.
Not all of it.
But
Yeah,
like,
just some explicit language. That's it.
Yeah, explicit.
You know, but you can just block your ears for some of the swearing, I guess.
Yeah. We can't tell you when that happened. Like, I'm not doing time codes.
Not doing time right. But anyway, it's good content. We've been told from people other than our mothers because they don't listen to that.
Nah, because it's expletives.
It has expletives. But what else we on? We're on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. We post clips and whatnot. I've heard from friend of the show, Gordon, that we should just post more memes.
Dude, friend of the show, Gordon, bro. Man, Gordon's like coming out my hairline. You know what I'm saying?
I know, which is funny because he's got the same hairline as you.
Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well,
So
that's respect
that's
for Gordon.
right. So
Yeah, shout out Gordon.
shout out you, Gordon.
Shout out you, Gordon.
What else we got?
Well, if you're on YouTube, you know we're on YouTube. But if
Yeah.
you're listening to this, there is the video version of this as well as a plethora of other videos.
Yeah, that's right. We've got lots of other videos. We've got Rick and Morty Maxi Bonds.
Yeah. Which, like, you know, is sort of delayed, but that's because SA gets things slower, you know?
Yeah, that's absolutely ripping the chat.
Like old mate ScoMo was like, now before we can get in all the vaccines, we need to get in the Rick and Morty Maxi Bonds, guys, all right? So, like, we're low on Maxi Bonds, we're low on vaccines. Like, get us something.
Get us something.
Sco, all right?
Please.
Please.
Farewell.